Welcome to TI² Tech Talks. I'm Leanne Mirabelli.
And I am Crystal Lee.
And today we are going to talk about extending course access in Canvas. And so Crystal's here to show us the way.
Yes. Now, in our last Tech Talk, and if you haven't watched it, by the way, don't forget to go back and watch it. It is in the global announcements. But anyhow, in our last session, our last Tech Talk, we talked about the differences between Teams created courses and manually created courses. And there were some important dates that I showed you. So let me show you those dates here once again. Okay, so here are the important dates. So on May 25th at 7 o'clock, students will lose full access to your Teams created course. And so we mentioned that date, we threw it out. And so now what we're going to talk about today is what happens if you actually have students that need access to your course after May 25th at 7 o'clock. So you actually have two options. So option number one is to extend the section end date manually. And that option works best if you have maybe one or two students that need access to your course. Now, if you want to extend access to your course for more like an entire class period or all of your classes within your Canvas course, then option number two might be for you because you can manually extend your entire course by adding a course interim date. So that will be the option for you. Now, I will tell you, with both of these options, the kicker is that here, any kind of extension that you're trying to grant by adjusting the section date or the course interim date, that date must be applied before the course actually concludes for the student on May 25th at 7 p.m. Because after that date in time, then you won't be able to extend it because the students have already lost access. So either option, whichever option you choose, please make sure that you apply those extended dates to the section or the course before May 25th at 7 p.m. So what I'm going to quickly show you is how to do that. I'm going to show you both options. So exit right quick. And I'm going to go over to a course here. And this is a Teams created course. And also just to remind you guys, everything that we've been talking about thus far about students losing access to the course, extending the course access date, it is all applicable for Teams created courses because your manually created courses do not have a expiration date or unless you have manually added that. Okay, so I am in a Teams created course here. This is a semester 2 course. And if we were to look at option number 2, I'm going to start with that one. Option number 2, if you want to extend your course to all of the class periods that have access to your course, okay, what you're going to do is go down to the settings link in your menu. Okay, and then under course details, okay, we're going to scroll down just a little bit and we're going to go to the participation section. Okay, now by default, under the participation section, you do have a drop-down menu and the default setting is for the term. Since this is a term-based course, and this term date that is grayed out is set by the district. Okay, so like I said earlier, Teams created courses will end on May 25th at 7 p.m. and that is the term date that is automatically populated. So currently, the way the course is set up by default is that the course is going to be concluding and it will end for all of your students on that date. Okay. Now, if you want to extend access to your course for your students, then what you want to do is click this drop-down menu. And instead of selecting term, you want to select course. And this is where you can customize the start and end date for the course. So if you want to extend access to your course past May 25th, let's say maybe a couple weeks later into June, or if you want to extend access all the way to maybe August, then you can do that. So under the end date section, what you want to do is click on the little calendar and select a date that is after May 25th. And for this one, I'm just going to do a few days and say till the end of the month. And you can adjust your time here as well. Now, the other thing that I want to mention is these two options are already by default selected. But if you have played around in your course and you have changed your course end dates, you want to make sure that you have enabled or you have checked here, restrict students from viewing course after course end date. Okay, so that option will prevent students from accessing your course after your customized end date here. And so that's going to remove it from their past enrollment section. And then, of course, it's going to move the course from their dashboard. So they will have no access completely to the course after that date. Okay, so make sure you have that setting enabled. Okay, so once you make that change, you want to scroll down and click Update Course Details. Once you update the course details, if for some reason you wanted to go back to the original term dates that the district had, so maybe you no longer have students that need access after the 25th, then what you will need to do is under the participation section in the course section, you want to go back and adjust that date back to May 25th at 7 o'clock p.m. Okay. Please note that just adjusting or just changing the participation back to the term and updating your course is not going to work, okay? Because your original course customized date for your course is overriding the term date at this point. So you will need to adjust it under the course section, okay? So that is option number 2. If you want to grant all class period and all students within your course extended access to the course. Okay, so option number 1 was you may not want all of your students to have access to your course, extended access to your course. You might just want a few of them, or you may just have one student. And the best way to achieve that will be to extend the section date for your course. So we're still under settings. So I'm going to click on the sections tab, and then it's going to list your class periods. And so if you have maybe a few students in, for example, period 2 here, what you can do is extend access to this specific section. And so when you click on the title of this section, then it shows the students listed. But over on the right-hand side, you want to click on Edit Section. And then you have an option to add start and end dates. Okay, so you want to make sure that you edit the end date. And so if you click on the little calendar, then you can adjust the section end date. So for period 2, in this example, I wanted to end at the end of the month. And then also, I'm just going to say 11:59 and click done. Okay, so now for this section, students will lose access on May 31st instead of May 25th. Now, the last thing I definitely want to make sure that you know to do is to check this students can only participate in the course between these date options. And that's going to limit the students' access to your course within the dates, which I have not applied a start date, but they will no longer have access after May 31st. Okay, and then you will update the section. The last thing that I want to show you is if you truly just have one student that you want to provide extended access to, and maybe not the entire class period. So I don't want all of second period to have access to extended access to my course. I just want one student. And so you can do, you can extend access for individual students as well through a section. And so if I go back down to the settings in the course, and under the sections section or the sections tab, what you want to do is go ahead and create a new section. And I'm just going to title it extended access. Okay, you're going to add the section. And then there are currently no users added to this section. And so what I'm going to do is click on the title of this new section I just created, and I'm going to go over to edit section, and then I'm going to apply those that same end date. Okay, and students can only participate between these dates. Okay, so I'm going to update that section. Okay, so I created a new section. I added the new extended access date, but now I don't have that student in there. So the last step I'm going to do is actually add that student to this new section that I created. So what you want to do is go over to the people section, and then you're going to find the student. And I'm just going to select the first student that I see here. If you click on the three dots next to that student name, then there is an edit section option. And under edit section, what you can do is either browse for it, or you can type in the name of the section. So I titled that extended. And so the section will begin to populate. And once you select it, then that student has been added to that section. You're going to update it. Okay, so now this individual student who is a part of the extended access section will only have extended access to the course until May 31st. Now, all other students, if you have not adjusted that section date, the section dates for the other sections, then they will lose access at the end of that term. Okay, so that's three options for, well, kind of two, but three options for extended access for either individual students, an entire class period, or just a few students, and then also your entire course, so all of your class periods included. Levianne, do you have any questions?
I don't think so, Crystal. You explained it so well. I totally know what to do now.
Awesome. Now, one thing I also want to make sure you guys know, don't forget that you can find all of this information in the end of year guide. And so if you go to bit.ly/Canvas EOY 21, that will you will have access to the Canvas wrap up kind of end of year guide that also has this information included.
And we'll put that link in the description of the video too.
Yes.
Thank you,
All righty.
Crystal.
You're welcome, Levianne.
We so appreciate that you dropped into our tech talks the last couple of weeks to help us make sure our Canvas courses are ready for the end of the year.
Yes, thank you so much. And we have one more coming, so don't forget to check that one out. And we will be talking about what do you do if you want to work over the summer. So check out our next week's Tech Talk.
Thank you. See you guys next time.
Bye.